Good evening, Redskins Nation. I am Redskins Fans Unite, and it has been nearly 2 years since I have last made a video, but I returned again for probably the first time for a while because I don't upload that much. I'm just home from college for Thanksgiving break. Yes, I'm in college now. I was in high school when I last uploaded a video. Hear that in the background? That's my dog. And I was initially planning to lock him out of that door, but he's gonna keep banging on the door, and I don't really feel like having to deal with that, so we're just gonna leave the door open, okay? So, we're just gonna go through some ups and downs of today's Thanksgiving Day game against Dallas, and then we're gonna get into another topic that I feel like I need to touch on. So, let's start with the downs because we lost. Let's start with the elephant in the room, and that would be Jay Gruden. Yes. Terrible coach. Terrible coaching. Just his clock management hasn't shown any improvement. I don't know really what else I can say about him. I feel like I've already said it all about Jay Gruden, and I feel like everything has already been said about him. And there's just really, I don't think we're really going to get anywhere long term with him. I just don't. I don't know if I want to put Colt McCoy as a down here or what I want to put him as. I'm definitely going to put the refs as a down because they weren't that bad today, but there were some bad calls. Like that helmet call at the end, Jordan Reed, helmet-to-helmet contact with, I think, Jalen Smith or whoever the hell tackled him. But it is what it is. I'm not blaming this game on the refs. The secondary, just can't even. Fabian Moreau was atrocious. Quentin Dunbar, I don't know, there was something wrong with him. I don't know if he was injured or what. I wasn't paying attention to screaming my ass off throughout the entire game. That's because that's just what I do on football Sundays and Thursdays in this case. But yeah, secondary was not good. The front four was good. I think I can get into ups now because there's not really many more downs that I can really illustrate at this point. So, yes, the defensive line, I'm going to say that they did well today because they managed to get a lot of good pressure on Dak Prescott. The problem was the secondary could not compensate for that. Preston Smith, I think, is starting to come on late in the season, and I like that. I think he's a very underrated player, despite his lack of production early in the season. He's really getting after it now. He got a pick last week, I think. And yeah, I like the looks of him. Kerrigan, as always. Trent Williams. So to the offensive line, I don't think they were an up or a down because, I mean, they were definitely more down than an up because they didn't do enough to open too many big running lanes for AP or really help us win the game in that sense. So I was glad that Trent Williams was able to return today. He almost went out again, but he came back in, which I'm thankful for on this Thanksgiving Day. And, yeah, that's about it there. Josh Doxson was definitely an up for me, as with the tight ends. You probably saw it on your screen multiple times, that our tight ends had literally half of our whole offensive yardage. And I think that's about it. Kareem Bibbs was an up. Yeah, he played well in his limited snaps. So yeah, I think that's really about it. That's really all I can say there. We had multiple opportunities to come back. We had multiple opportunities to make tackles. We had multiple opportunities to prevent situations that were not prevented. And we had multiple ways to ultimately have swept the Cowboys today. But we didn't, and now the Cowboys are first in the division, and we are not. So, that leads us to another topic. And I don't know what to say about Colt McCoy right now. I thought he made really good throws today. A lot of throws that were, I don't know if I want to say Kirk Cousins-esque, but I'm not going to say that because given the lack of practice time that he's had, he definitely did shake off a lot of rust, but the mistakes by him were what hurt us on the scoreboard. There was that the first interception was a duck. The second interception was great play by DeMarcus Lawrence, and the third interception slipped from his hand. And yeah, I mean, things like that happen, but when you're indoors, that should not happen. Like, there's no way the field is wet. There's no way the ball has any ounce of wetness on it, unless I'm not even gonna formulate on that. So it's he was playing like a vet, but the rust definitely showed, and it was just like, it's just I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's just that recurring theme of the way that we end up losing in the end. It's just that we'll get all these cute little passes for chunks and chunks of yardage. We'll get all these good plays, and then just bam. There's just always going to be that one mistake. And believe me, Stephen A. Smith said this about the Cowboys, what was it, 2 years ago? Yeah, Dak and Zeke's rookie year when they went 12-4 and they were the accident waiting to happen. The Redskins have always been an accident waiting to happen. I'm going to say that right now because it just happens every season. Our season always seems to end the same way. And I'm not saying the season's over. I'm just saying that it very well could be if we don't win next week against Philly. And with that, I'm going to switch to a different topic. We signed Mark Sanchez to be Colt McCoy's backup. As you all know, Alex Smith is done for the season with a broken fibula, I believe. I'm not sure. And, that, I'm not even going to go in detail to it, but it is believed to be a career-ending injury like Theismann's 33 years ago. But with that, we have two quarterbacks on roster, Colt McCoy and Mark Sanchez. And I'm confident with Colt moving forward. He's been a part of this system for many years. He's a goddamn trooper for all I'm concerned. But I don't know. What the topic that I want to talk about right now doesn't really concern. It concerns more than the Redskins. And I feel like my take on this topic in particular is like very unique. So I'm going to let it be known. First, I got to take off this jersey because it is very hot in here. That's right, guys. Colin Kaepernick. After today, I said to myself that I'd be okay if the Redskins signed Kaepernick. And why am I okay that the Redskins would sign Kaepernick when I don't know if y'all know this, but well, I'm just gonna let it be known I'm not exactly a fan of his kneeling for the national anthem protest. And I'm not gonna go in depth why, but that's not what this is about. And I'm not going to suggest that he's being blackballed or any of that. But this guy, I'm not going to, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to suggest that he's being blackballed or anything. But this guy is I'm not saying he's a good quarterback, but he was a good quarterback. And there's no reason why he still can't play in the NFL. His former teammate, Eric Reed, is a very good friend of his, believe me. I follow Kaepernick a lot because I was a fan of him. I still am, as a football player. I think we should look at Kaepernick. I'm just going to say we should look at him as a football player. And we should have looked at him as a football player. Because I think he would be worth a shot. I think we have the third most cap space in the entire NFL. So we can at least afford to take a shot on Colin Kaepernick. Many teams in the NFL can afford to take a shot on Colin Kaepernick. And I understand, and I understand both sides of the argument that many people think that because Kaepernick is so focused on his activist life or whatever, that'll probably be a distraction in the locker room and in general. But we can't forget that he is a football player too. And I think in the end, well, somebody's just got to sign him. And if somebody doesn't sign him, then if he hasn't retired by now, that should say something that he still wants to play football in this NFL. There's Kaiser. Yep. We had a good time today. Actually, no, we went to my cousin's house and we left him home during Thanksgiving dinner. I'm pretty sure he was very unpleased with that. But he's happy that we're home now, so that's all that matters, right? Let's see what we got time. Wow, 11 minutes? I usually drag these things on for much longer than this. Yeah, excuse me, is currently going to town with that ball, but I don't really know what to say. I don't see why Kaepernick would be such a big issue on a football roster. Because I'm just looking at this from such a unique perspective. Because most people who want Kaepernick to be signed are either in support of his protest or feel that he's being blackballed. And those who don't want him to be signed are most likely against his protest or like not in favor of his protest, or just think that he's, I guess, gonna be a distraction or something like that. And like, I don't feel myself, I don't think I'm like part of any of those groups. So, yeah, I just think Kaepernick deserves a shot. And that I'm saying that I would not mind to see Colin Kaepernick in a Redskins uniform. Because he was once one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. And I still think that he deserves a shot in the NFL. Because he has taken the 40... granted, they had a good defense, but he has gone 2 NFC Championship games. And he's a hell of a runner. He has a hell of an arm. He's hella talented. So, there you go. That's all you need in an NFL quarterback. Pretty much. So, what are you going to do, Washington? Anyways, I think it's too late to really sign him now because they already said they weren't interested in him. But the bottom line is, when we get Colt McCoy into practice, I think we will be fine moving forward. While I am beyond disappointed with this loss to Dallas, I think that we just gotta keep moving forward. I can't really think of anything better to say because it's, I'm at a loss of words for right now. But anyways, let's beat Philadelphia. Let's reclaim the East because Lord knows the Cowboys ain't beating the Saints next week. Let's get to 7-5. Let's watch those Cowboys fall to 6-6. Yeah, 6-6. Let's watch them fall, and let's keep our eye out for the Giants. That if they win this week, are definitely going to be back in the swing of things. So keep an eye on that. Stay alert, Jay Gruden. Do something to prove me wrong. Just find a way to get past 8-8, because that was my midseason prediction for y'all after, I believe, our loss in Week 5 to the Saints. That was my midseason prediction. 8-8. No playoffs for us. That was my prediction. Prove me wrong, Redskins. Prove me wrong. For once. That's it, guys. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hail to the Redskins.